So the Scott Pilgrim anime just came out and I couldn't have been more excited. I feel like Scott Pilgrim is a movie that I watched maybe 10 times. I found a way to read the graphic novel. I even watched when they read the script with most of the actors there that came out, I want to say like 5 or so years ago. So Scott Pilgrim I really enjoy, and when I found out that the show was going to be adapting what I saw in the movies and the graphic novel, I couldn't wait to see the characters I enjoyed with their actual actors revisit the story of the graphic novel. Oh, well, Scott is dead. But honestly, the Scott Pilgrim Takes Off show is actually pretty good. I saw a lot of people dislike it because Scott is barely in his own show. But what I would say to that is that I feel like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is more Ramona's story as well as Scott, because those are her evil exes, and the show basically has her go one by one to each of them and try to fix their relationship with them so there's any more animosity and bad blood towards them. And honestly, this feels more like a sequel than anything, and it's something that I really like that games and movies and TV shows are starting to do, when they bring back a new franchise and then they make it into something new but still try to have it connected to old things. Like for instance, Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's basically, if you look into the game, look deep into what the game is, it's basically a sequel to the original game because it's going back to the original, but it's acknowledging what happened in the past, but it's changing the story into something new. And I feel like the way that the Scott Pilgrim show has been set up, it honestly makes it so you can go more into the world and you can see more of the characters in a new light than what you've been seeing from the video game or the live action movie or even the graphic novel. So I'm glad. Honestly, I was a little worried when Scott died and it was like 2 episodes without no explanation, but we found out that he's alive and all this timelimey stuff that's going on, it honestly was like a breath of fresh air. I got to really appreciate Ramona Flowers and the rest of the side characters, and they really had more to do rather than a graphic novel. And I will say, I do wish we had seen that character in the graphic novel that was Scott's friend when they were younger. The girl with the blonde hair, I honestly can't remember her name. But in terms of the show, I honestly saw a lot of posts of a lot of people that did not like the fact that either Scott quote unquote died, or they're saying the Scott Pilgrim show without Scott Pilgrim. Honestly, I think it's a nice breath of fresh air. So if you watch the movies and you read the graphic novel, you would really enjoy the show. Like, people are calling it like that Scott is gone for 5.5 episodes, that they're calling it like a woke. People are having a lot of frustrations because Ramona is technically the main character of the show. I learned to appreciate it. I appreciated what it was, and I literally binge watched it in one sitting, so I really enjoyed the show and I feel like it was good. It was nice to have a nice breath of fresh air to what we normally see, and we can actually see these characters doing different things and in a different light than what we would normally see if they just rehashed what we've seen in a live action movie, a video game, and the actual graphic novel. So I feel like people that are being really harsh on it should finish the show, I would say, and appreciate it for what it was. It's more like a continuation from the original story, because the events of the original series did happen in the show. I feel like with everything that's been going on, it actually leads up to another potential season 2 where we can have more of our characters interacting with each other, and preferably more Scott Pilgrim that he's actually in the show. I feel like that's pretty much what I have to say about the show. I really liked it. I feel like people are harshing on it a lot. I saw that mainly all these negative opinions were on Twitter. When I was looking at TikToks and stuff, everyone absolutely loved the show from what I've seen. So I think it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I understand why some people won't, but I feel like it's nice to have a new original Scott Pilgrim story that's not just rehashing everything. Personally, when I was watching the first episode, I was just watching it, and yeah, of course you already know what's gonna happen. You're like, okay, like I'm not that invested, but then we saw Scott fucking die or apparently die. It was like, oh shit, wait, what? What is going on? So I feel like that really got me hooked into watching the entire series. So I really liked it. I want to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, weekend, whatever, afternoon, and I'll catch you later.